Welcome to Pluralsight. Thank you for joining me. My name is Brian Alderman. I'm a Microsoft MVP as well as an MCT, a Microsoft certified trainer for 20 consecutive years now. I got a nice jacket for that. I'm a speaker and I speak at a plethora of conferences around the country. In fact, around the world, so I get to travel quite a bit. And I'm an author of 4 books. The last 2 were Microsoft Press books on SharePoint, one on 2010 administration, the other on 2013. Also, I've written a book on Windows 2000. Yeah, that was a while ago, as well as a book on SQL Server. So I've been into Microsoft technology for quite some time. My Twitter handle is Brian Alderman. My company name is Microtechpoint, so you can visit my website at www.microtechpoint.com. And in there, you'll find my speaking schedule as well as a Brian's blog, where I blog about different Microsoft announcements as well as my speaking schedule. In addition, you're going to have an option out there to click on products, and that's where you're going to find links to products like this one. And in this course, we're going to look at implementing and managing federated identities for SSO, single sign-on. And in this very first module, we're going to look at the planning process for Active Directory federated services. And with that said, this is the breakout of the course. We're going to begin with the course introduction. By the way, we're in the middle of that right now. We're in this module going to look at the ADFS planning. That's the Active Directory Federation Services. ADFS is so much easier to say than Active Directory Federation Services every time. So you're going to see ADFS in several locations. But we need to make sure our Active Directory environment on-prem is ready for the integration of ADFS with Office 365. We need to then look at installing ADFS to make sure it's installed properly and ready to provide the integration between Office 365 and your on-prem Active Directory environment. After that, there's some configuration options to make sure the two environments are talking to each other. We're going to look at configuring ADFS to allow that integration and communication to take place. Now, if you have external users, we need a level of security to allow them to come into the on-prem environment and take advantage of ADFS, but we want a wall. We're going to set up a DMZ, a demilitarized zone, and we're going to create a WAP or a web application proxy that's going to be an extra level of protection between your ADFS server on-prem and the users external to your organization. So we're going to wrap it up by looking at a web application proxy server or a WAP server, which is available with Windows Server 2012 R2 and later. But what if you have Windows Server 2012 or earlier? Well, we're going to look at an ADFS proxy server configuration. So we got you covered regardless of what flavor of the operating system you're running. Now, with all that said, this is a very complex topic, so I'm going to assume that you're familiar with DNS and DNS records, that you're familiar with Active Directory, that you're familiar with the Active Directory synchronization process, that you're aware of Office 365, and maybe have even already spun up a tenant. I hope you have at this point. And you're aware of some of the network topologies and some of the protocols associated with those topologies. And if you have that foundation and that knowledge, you're going to cruise through this course with me very easily.